to Between the Shelves. I am your ghost, Alex, and this is the second annual HORROR-ween episode. I'm joined this week by Peter.
Hello.
And Kristina.
I don't have a spooky voice.
I thought you'd be walking towards the exit when
I wasn't told to come prepared with a spooky voice.
I actually was planning on doing that even before you.
Excellent. All right, well, Peter and I will keep it going then. So this is our HORROR-ween episode. This is the second time we're doing this. We're the horror buffs at the library. And Peter, do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about HORROR-ween, what it is, how to participate? When this episode comes out, we're nearing the end of the month, so you have to get your horror movies in quickly. So keep that in mind.
I should say any movies that you watched during the month of October will count if you're hearing this. HORROR-ween Challenge is a challenge where you watch horror movies, and we have a certain number of categories. For each horror movie you watch, you can use 31 categories. You get a raffle ticket for a prize. So you can participate online. There's a link on our website. Or in person, we have the sheets at the library. So you submit the movies you watch, and at the end of the month, we will do a drawing for a prize.
Awesome. So there's been a little question of how many categories there are. You say there are 31, but I counted 25 earlier.
I think there are 25.
Kristina told me yesterday there were 31.
I asked, are there 30 or 31? But I hadn't counted.
It was basically how many I could think of / how many would fit on the sheet.
So basically, for each category, for each movie you watch that suits a category, you get a ticket entered into the raffle.
Well, one movie can count for more than one category.
Right.
So, but yeah, for each category you fill, you get a raffle ticket. So if a movie is from the 80s and it's also a slasher, those are two of the categories. You would get 2 raffles for that.
Right. So for this episode, we are going to be talking about some movies that we've seen this month, or maybe we have some recommendations for you that fit some of those categories. And we're going to go through maybe all of them, maybe not talk about all of them, but we're going to at least list the categories, I think, in this episode. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just get into it. I know we're excited to talk about some horror movies. So the first on my list is a horror movie that takes place or was filmed on Long Island. I actually do have a movie I want to talk about for this one, so I'm just going to keep rolling with it. So I saw the movie Wolf that was filmed in 1994, starring Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, James Spader, Christopher Plummer, Richard Jenkins, and David Hyde Pierce. This had a star-studded cast. It was filmed almost entirely on the Westbury Gardens out in Nassau, which you can get a museum pass here at Sayville Library. It's beautiful. I go there all the time with my kids. They love it. If you haven't guessed from the title Wolf, it's a werewolf movie. And I'll give you really quickly, it's about an aging publisher named Will Randall, who's at the end of his rope, having just lost his job and his wife to a charismatic upstart. One snowy night, he hits a wolf with his car. When he goes to check on it, surprise, he gets bit. And not before long, he begins to feel his life starting to turn around. He gets more energetic, more confident. But all of this comes at a bloody cost. Jack Nicholson is the lead character, if you haven't guessed. This was a wild movie. I won't say it's a good movie, but it had some very memorable scenes, I'll say that. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's pretty out there.
I haven't even heard of that one, which is weird since it's kind of my time period, and it has a lot of famous people in it.
Yeah, it had a big budget, and it was directed by Mike Nichols, too. So I don't know, it had everything going for it. It's pretty wild. It's probably a reason it was lost to history. So that was takes place on Long Island. Does anybody else have a movie for that category, or should we move on?
I have the Amityville Horror, but the Ryan Reynolds version, because I am partial to that one over the original.
I like the original. I watched it last year, but yeah, I don't have any others besides the most obvious one.
Yeah, this category is getting harder to fill each year.
Yeah.
Maybe this one might not make the cut next year, but who knows?
I actually just found out that at least one of the first Final Destination movie takes place.
That was my movie last year.
Yeah.
Actually, so I'm really out but the next category we have is vampire movie. Does anyone have a vampire movie?
I have so many vampire movies.
Okay, I'm not a vampire person per se, so why don't you take this one, Kristina?
Okay. So the first one I have is A Vampire in Brooklyn. This one also counts for horror, comedy, and Wes Craven. It stars Eddie Murphy as a Caribbean vampire who seduces a Brooklyn police officer who has no idea that she's a half vampire, which is like a whole thing. It's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie. I just saw it for the first time a few years ago after finding out that Eddie Murphy was in a vampire movie and being like, oh my god, I have to watch this.
I've never seen it, but the VHS box like cover art is like iconic. I've probably walked by it a million times.
I of course have Interview with the Vampire with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. The vampire tells his epic life story. This is one of my favorite.
I feel like this movie's pretty divisive, but I remember really liking it when I saw it, but I have not seen it in many, many years.
Me either.
It's still very good.
Okay. Do you have a vampire movie?
Not that I watched this year, but I have a couple I can recommend. I think I might have mentioned last year, but if you didn't hear that, there's one called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. It's from Iran, I think, Iranian. Really good, like, it also fits the international category. So, but it's, a female kind of teenage vampire. She's kind of punishing bad people sort of thing. So it has like a feminist undertone and everything too. But highly recommended.
I think that was your pick for last year's vampire movie. Any other vampire movies, Kristina?
Yeah, I have Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I also just saw for the first time recently.
Tom Waits stars in that, my favorite character actor.
Star-studded cast. This is very camp. Like, that's...
Oh, yeah.
Really, all it has going for it. Keanu Reeves is so miscast, but it's so enjoyable. And then The Lost Boys, which has the Coreys and Kiefer Sutherland as vampires, which that one also counts for 80s movie and horror movie series because they made 2 more in the mid-aughts.
Great soundtrack, too.
My vampire movie was Blood the Last Vampire. It's an anime movie. It's pretty short. It was like 45 minutes long. But I love anime. I'd never seen it before, so I gave that a whirl. It's made by the same producers who do the Ghost in the Shell films, when I love Ghost in the Shell. And this one was really good. It was actually really well produced. It was a kind of fun action horror sort of story. And it was also the first fully digital animated film in Japan. That's a little tidbit for you. All right, moving on.
Oh, tidbits.
Tidbits. I'm not doing fun facts anymore, just tidbits. All right, moving on to zombie movie. I watched Diary of the Dead, which is George A. Romero's 5th film in the Of the Dead series, the 5th of 6th. It is a found footage film, so it would also count for the found footage category, but I have something else I want to talk about for that one. This movie, I love zombie movies, and this one was bad. And that's all I want to say about it.
I don't have a zombie movie.
So do you recommend it then?
I do not, but I'm just saying what I watched to fulfill this category for the challenge.
I don't have one. I don't like zombie movies, usually.
Moving on to folk horror movie. I know this is a favorite of you, Peter. Do you want to take this one?
You know what? I haven't watched any new ones this year. I watched a whole bunch last year because I'd watched a Shudder documentary about the origins of folk horror, and most of them were terrible, really old ones. But I mean, the most obvious one, which is a classic, is Wicker Man, which I love.
Classic.
I saw one on Kristina's list when I walked by the. I won't say it because I think she might be saying it.
Oh, I have Midsommar.
Yeah, that's also folk horror and recommended.
Yeah. That's a great one.
All right. I watched A Field in England. It's a 2013 movie. It's set during the 17th century Civil War, so it's an unusual setting for a horror movie. It's basically about a bunch of deserters from the war who are kind of scavenging their way across the countryside, and I don't want to spoil too much, but strange things start to happen, and they kind of compile on themselves and start turning on one another, and it was interesting. I thought from the cover art it was like a 70s movie, but it's not. It was 2013. So, yeah, that's what I saw. Okay, moving on. Wes Craven movie is our next category. This is another category I was surprised at how much I liked this movie. I'm not generally a big Wes Craven fan, but I saw People Under the Stairs, 1991's People Under the Stairs, and I really like this movie. Have you seen it, Peter?
I saw it years ago, but I actually have it on my list to watch this year because I was looking at the Wes Craven movies, and I'm not a big Scream guy, and that was the only one that I thought, oh yeah, I think maybe I'll watch that one again.
So I'll just give a very quick synopsis of it. It's about a young black boy named Poindexter Williams, or Fool as he's called in the movie. He's conscripted by his mother's gangster boyfriend into a catboat burglary scheme of their horrible landlord's house. Things go horribly wrong when Poindexter becomes trapped in the house and discovers how truly twisted and evil the landlords are. This movie goes into some very strange places. It's really creepy. I really, really liked it. And it has some, like, it's more than just like a slasher movie. Like, it does have some interesting themes. Like, it touches on racism and gentrification and class warfare and like all this stuff. It's like it's more than just your average slasher movie. It has something to say. So I don't know. I really, really like this movie. Did anybody else watch any Wes Craven movies?
I already said mine, which was A Vampire in Brooklyn.
Right. Yes, of course. Of which has many things to say, I'm sure, has very deep themes as well. Okay, let's move on to John Carpenter movies. Anybody watch a John Carpenter movie?
I haven't watched one yet this year, but I've seen most of them, and my favorite of his is The Thing.
I just watched it for the first time, actually, this month.
Really good, claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Also gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic. I watched Body Bags, which was the last John Carpenter movie of his that I had not seen. It was horrible. It's an anthology film, and they're all so bad that it borders on comedy. I almost put this as my horror comedy category as well. I don't want to get into it because I do not recommend it, but you do get to see Mark Hamill's bare ass if you're interested in that. Okay, let's move on. Movie from a horror series. Does anyone want to take this one?
I've got one. This one I actually have been meaning to rewatch, but it's the Ginger Snaps series. It's a Canadian series. There's 3 movies. Ginger Snaps Back, and I don't remember what the third one's called, but they're really good. They're kind of it's 2 teen sisters. They're kind of strange, morbid teenagers, and one of them gets bit by an animal. It's kind of like a werewolf thing, but they're fun, but also they're not comedies, but they're kind of fun, and there's some kind of underlying feminist themes and everything, and I haven't seen them in years, but going through everything recently, I thought I should revisit those. In the past I've seen them multiple times, so that's a good series that people probably haven't heard of.
Never even heard of it.
Ginger Snaps, yeah.
Ginger Snaps. All right. How about you, Kristina? Horror series?
I would say probably the Paranormal Activity movies, which I love found footage, and those are like, I think after the Blair Witch Project, like the quintessential found footage films. I think there's 6 in the series of varying degrees of good. One of them takes place, the most recent one, which I believe is it was streaming on Paramount Plus. I think it's called like Next of Kin. Takes place in like an Amish village, and then it's very strange.
How does that work as a found footage movie?
A documentary crew comes in to this Amish village. I don't remember why they're there, to like record something about the village in particular. And they sort of get stranded there for longer than they think. Someone is possessed, and then maybe the internet is the problem because everybody has secrets and the internet is one of them. It's a very strange
premise.
Yeah. It also doesn't necessarily really fit in with the rest of them because 4 of the 6 are directly related to each other. Some are prequels, some are sequels. And this one is just like...
Just a reboot.
Not even...
Trying something new.
Just
under the umbrella of...
Using the name.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I watched, for movie from a horror series, I saw Candyman for the first time, 1992's Candyman, and I loved it. This is one of my favorite movies I've saw this year. for the HORROR-ween challenge. If you aren't familiar, it's about a grad student studying, I guess, ghetto folklore or something like that, or mythology or something. Urban myths. Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. And she is investigating a local being known as the Candyman, who is a man with a hook for a hand who can be summoned by calling his name 5 times. It's very creepy. It has amazing sets, like when she goes and investigates all the apartments and stuff. It's really, really well done, really creepy. It's just got a great premise. It allows the writers to slip in lots of themes that the audience probably wouldn't be expecting. Like it goes into slavery and racism and poverty, and it touches on a lot of different subjects that I was not expecting for a slasher film. Just great. Like I loved the actor who played Candyman. I forget what his name is, but he was great. And there was an interesting tidbit that I got while researching this movie. The actor had a clause in his contract that he would get $1,000 per bee sting, because the whole thing with this movie is like there's swarms of bees that come up whenever he appears or whatever. And he got stung 23 times during the filming, so he got a nice little check for that. He's very smart to put that in his clause. All right, moving on to body horror movie. This is an interesting category. What did anyone have for this one?
You know what? I haven't watched a body horror
I
one
also
this year.
haven't watched
Well, it is a genre I tend to like. I feel like I've seen a lot of them already, and I haven't watched any this year. But I did have written down. It's Cronenberg, but it's less body horror than most of his. It's Scanners, which is one of my favorites from him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm counting this as body horror. I watched the movie Possession. It's also my 80s movie. It's about a woman who is exhibiting increasingly disturbing behavior as she's asking her husband for a divorce. Suspicions of infidelity soon give way to something much more sinister. So it's about a couple that's working their way through a messy divorce, and each character is sort of just being driven further into madness because of the actions of the other, or for whatever kind of mental trip-ups they have over the process of going through a divorce. It's just a very messy movie. It stars Sam Neill, and the actress's name is Isabel Adjani, I think her name is. It's one of the most beautifully shot horror films I've seen in a long time. It's gorgeous. And it's equally disturbing. Like the imagery is very, very unnerving, and the characters, as they just start to mentally become unraveled, their actions just are becoming wildly unpredictable. So it makes the audience feel like very uncomfortable and on the edge of your seat. Really, I don't know. I just really like this movie. Have you seen it, Peter? Possession?
Yeah, I watched that one last HORROR-ween.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I loved it too.
Yeah, the writer-director, it's his only English film, I think. He's Ukrainian, and it was inspired by his own divorce. So there's a lot of him in this movie. It's just a really interesting story. There's not many horror movies like it. Like, this is like art. I guess you could call art house horror.
Yeah.
But definitely lots of body horror mixed in the mix. Okay, let's move on from body horror to demonic possession movie. This is
I, for some reason, have ended up watching a ton of these for this year. Right. Not on purpose, but
take it away.
Let me see. Let me choose one, because a lot of these go for different categories. Oh, this is a newer one. I watched The First Omen, which is I think it just came out this year. Part of The Omen. It's kind of a prequel to the original Omen, and if you like those movies, it's very similar, and it stands up with the better ones, like the first one. I think it's on one of the streaming.
I think it's on Hulu. I
Hulu or something like
watched
that.
it recently as well.
I love the original Omens. I think I've seen 1 through 4.
Yeah.
So maybe I have to give this one a check out. Kristina, do you have any demonic possessions?
Yes. I watched Jennifer's Body for the first time. And I had avoided it for many years after everyone said it was awful.
Is this the one with
Megan Fox?
Megan Fox?
Yeah, and then sort of having everyone sort of rethinking their stance on Megan Fox and the way she's been sort of treated in the world. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should give this a chance. So it's about a possessed high school cheerleader. She's sacrificed by like a pop punk band for fame and gets possessed by a succubus and then is killing all of her male classmates. And her best friend is trying to stop her. And it is, I think this also counts as horror comedy. It's so funny. It's so silly. It's just a fun movie. Like,
it's a great premise.
Yes.
I got that one on my list for this year too.
Yeah.
I always thought this was a zombie movie for some reason. I must be mixing it up with another movie.
It's isn't it Diablo Cody too? It's her movie after Juno.
Yeah. She gets turned into a succubus, so
okay.
Demonic possession. Yeah.
Very different categories. Cool. Jennifer's Body. Yeah, I got to check that one out. I don't know. It sounds like interesting.
I feel like everyone hated it so much when it came out, like to the point where it was like, why would I even bother to watch it? But it kind of has like a cult following, especially in queer communities, because there's a lot of queer themes to it. I was like, oh, I should watch this. And it was actually very enjoyable, and I'm very mad that I let everyone's hatred of it influence me.
Yeah, I've heard that it was more of a reaction to like oversaturation of certain people than the quality of the...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, check it out, everybody. Jennifer's Body. I watched The Exorcist II, The Heretic, which I had a note here that said it's one of the worst sequels in cinema history. That's my personal opinion, and I feel like many people share it. I don't even want to explain what it is. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Is that the one in the hospital? I think that's the third one.
It's not in a hospital, no. It's
okay.
with like where the priest goes to like Africa and to like find the source of Pazuzu or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. That one is bad.
Yeah, real bad. Okay, let's move on to sci-fi horror. Peter, you're a sci-fi buff. Do you have one for this?
I do. I watched for the first time. I may have seen it years ago, but I watched the 70s remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is a classic. You know, alien sort of plants kind of come down and start taking over people's bodies and making them do things. But I was surprised how much I liked it.
Yeah. Is that the one with Donald Sutherland?
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah. Man, that's a good movie. Cool. I watched two movies for this category. I watched Phantasm for the first time, which I think was in your pick last year, which I enjoyed. But the movie I want to talk about is Phase 4. So I actually watched this in late September, so that's why I didn't use it for the challenge. But I watched this as part of a personal sci-fi challenge I was doing. I'm trying to watch every sci-fi movie ever. So Phase 4 is it's the directorial debut of Saul Bass, the famous graphic designer. It's a very unusual premise. Basically, ants, the bug, have become sentient and are starting to do some strange things. And it's about these two scientists who go out into, like, I think the Arizona desert, into this, like, basically biodome thing to study ants. And they basically discover that the ants are being controlled by some, like, space entity or something and start to turn on humans. So it's kind of like Tremors if instead of giant sandworms, they're ants. It's a really bizarre premise for a movie, but it is so stylistically shot. It's very, very cool, and it has an excellent soundtrack. I definitely recommend it. It's really, really bizarre, and it showed up on a lot of like best of sci-fi lists. And I get it now. It's a really weird... If you're looking for like a weird movie with a cool style and a great soundtrack, check this one out. It might surprise you. Phase 4. Okay, anybody else have a sci-fi horror?
I do. I watched The Faculty.
Oh, yeah.
Which, only because Elijah Wood is in it, which is about a bunch of high school students whose teachers are taken over by aliens. And they're trying to sort of like stop this invasion. And I really enjoyed it. It wasn't a great movie, but definitely a popcorn movie.
Yeah. I could see that movie like being completely within your wheelhouse. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. When did it come out? Probably like 99 or something?
1998.
Oh, it's close.
So Elijah Wood, he's just about to fly off to New Zealand. Like,
Awesome. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen The Faculty. I got to watch it. It's like Patrick Stewart, like the principal or something, or am I thinking of another movie?
that's a different movie.
No, doesn't it have the policeman guy from Terminator 2 in it?
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the
I've never
teachers.
seen it.
I think it does.
All right. I got to...
Jon Stewart, isn't it?
Maybe that's what I was thinking
Jon
of.
Stewart.
They're easy to mix up. All right, let's move on. So next category I have is classic horror movie, which we defined as being filmed in the 60s or earlier. Or was it 1960 or earlier?
The 60s or earlier.
The 60s or earlier, okay. Then I misinterpreted it. I thought it was 1960 or earlier, so I chose Eyes Without a Face, which is shot in the late 50s. It was also my international horror film. Really interesting movie, beautifully shot, very weird premise about like a mad scientist sort of, and his, I think, daughter has an accident and her face is disfigured, and he starts murdering people to like experiment on them and try to get like a face graft on her, but then she ends up going crazy, and it's really, really out there. It's another one of those art house horror films, I would say, but it's pretty cool. Eyes Without a Face.
That one's it's interesting for sure. Not for everybody, but
not for everyone. Interesting ending too, which I liked. That was my classic horror movie. Anybody else have one for this category? All right. It's a hard one, yeah. Maybe this one will see the chopping block next year. Who knows? All right. Next up, we have 80s horror movie.
I've got multiple of these.
I guess I just have one. It's one I rewatch every year, which is Children of the Corn, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I guess the premise is a couple gets stuck in a town that is ruled by children for some reason. That becomes apparent through the rest of the movie, and they're led by another kind of child, Isaac, who is convincing them that like you need to sacrifice all of the adults. And he's not. I don't even think he's the creepiest kid in the movie. I think that goes to Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen this movie.
It's
on my TBR.
It's really good. I don't know what about it attracts me so much, but I could watch it.
Creepy little guys.
He is a creepy little guy, Isaac.
I haven't seen it in years, but it was one of the movies that I first got me into horror movies when I was like 12. So
there are a number of sequels also, so it would count for a series, but I wouldn't recommend any of them.
Okay. I watched Halloween 2 Season of the Witch, which is a weird movie.
Isn't that's Halloween 3?
Is it? Then yes. I watched Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And that was also my movie in a horror series, I think, right? Or did I? Well, whatever. I watch a bunch of horror movies. I can't even keep it straight anymore. That was my pick. I don't really want to talk about it.
I love that one. My pick, I actually just watched on Monday, is called Bloody Birthday. Ooh. And it's, the classic 80s horror where it's not great, but it's fun. It's these 3 kids were born during an eclipse on the same day in this town in California and start, murdering everybody. And it takes place, one of the main things, it's their birthday, so they're having a big birthday party for all 3 of them, and it's creepy kids murdering people, and
nice. It's,
very the schlocky 80s horror style.
Creepy kids seems to be very 80s.
Yeah. Right. All right, so next category is 70s horror movie. What was everyone's 70s pick? I had Exorcist 2 was my 70s slot here. All right.
I don't have anything.
I do. I watched Alice, Sweet Alice. It's very classic 70s. It's a family. It's a single mom with 2 daughters, and the younger daughter is getting her first communion. And the older daughter is really mean to her and is very creepy. And the younger daughter gets murdered at her first communion. And there's kind of a mystery element to it too, so I don't want to give it away, but it's, it wasn't the best movie ever, but it's, if you like that sort of 70s kind of, religious themed horror, it's serviceable.
All right, so next category we have is holiday-themed horror movie. This is my Halloween 3 was my pick for this one as well. I already mentioned. But Peter, you had one that you haven't seen yet, but you wanted to talk about?
I'm going to visit a friend the last weekend of the month, and we're going to watch My Bloody Valentine, which I've had on my list for a while and haven't ever seen. So that's going to be mine, but I haven't seen it yet.
I've heard My Bloody Valentine's good. Haven't seen it yet, though. Next category is slasher film. This was my Candyman pick, so that was mine. I already talked about that. Kristina, do you have a slasher?
I do. So I watched Spree, which is a found footage movie starring Joe Keery. It is basically someone who is trying to go viral on the internet and is having difficulty achieving that level of fame, decides he's going to be a rideshare driver for a day and murder every single one of every single person that he picks up, and he's going to live stream the entire thing. And it's very funny. It's interesting to watch the character sort of lose his mind as he's like actively murdering people and live streaming it, but no one is watching it, so he's not getting caught. He's able to go like the whole day just like murdering these people. Originally his plan was to poison everyone, but that ends up not working, and it was just so fun. This one is also available on Hoopla, which is where I watched it.
Oh, nice.
And I watched it because it was found footage. It came out, I think, in 2020 or 2021, so it was one of those movies that were filmed where during, pandemic restrictions where, like, you couldn't have that many people gathered, and there was sort of like a bunch of found footage films came out in that area with similar premises, but I think this is probably the best one out of all of them that I have seen with that similar premise.
We'll have to do a found footage episode eventually.
Yeah, I have so many. I'm using most of my categories are found footage movies that fit other things.
That sounds cool. All right. All right. Next category I have is psychological horror. Anyone want to take this one?
Yeah, I've got a good one for this. It's called Creep. And basically, guy's looking for work. He finds an ad for online ad for $1,000 for a day, filming service. Discretion is appreciated. So he shows up. He's like a cameraman guy, and to this weird guy's house, and he wants him to film different things. And it's kind of a slow burn because it's just like at first, at least, it's just like it seems kind of normal, and then it just gets creepier. It's Mark Duplass is the creepy guy, and so it's a part of a series too, because there's a sequel which is also good, but it's very creepy.
Yeah, I keep seeing this movie pop up on my recommended whatever in the streaming apps. I gotta watch it eventually. Okay. For this category, I finally saw for the first time The Babadook, which I really liked. I don't know why I put it off for so long, but I really liked it. I don't know. Kristina, you've seen this movie, I'm sure.
Yes.
And you do like it?
I love this movie.
I don't have too many notes on it because I watched it a little while ago, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty creepy. It was an interesting premise. As somebody who's a father of a young boy, and I completely sympathized with the character going crazy from lack of sleep and everything. So I don't know. It was interesting. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. All right, next category I have is a personal favorite of mine: Yuppie nightmares / home invasion movies. Do you have one for this one? Either of you?
I do. Mine's sort of a stretch, but I'm counting it.
It's all right. It's a weird category to pin down. Go ahead.
It's Barbarian. It's not really. It's an Airbnb or whatever they're staying in that's kind of invaded. But basically, somebody's in town for a job interview. She stays in an Airbnb and finds out that there's somebody already staying there too, and a lot more than that. It gets very creepy, and there's some very unsettling images in it, and a lot of some good surprising twists that you don't see coming too. So
Yeah, I did not like that movie, but it was interesting. My pick is Raising Cain from 1992, directed by Brian De Palma of Scarface and Carrie fame. This movie was actually recommended to me from a podcast I love called With Gorley and Rust, where it's two comedians reviewing horror movies, and they did a whole season on Yuppie Nightmare movies, and this was one of their picks. And I'm glad I watched it. It is very interesting. So here's a quick synopsis. When neighborhood kids begin vanishing, Jenny suspects her child psychologist husband, Carter, may be resuming the deranged experiments his father performed on Carter when he was young. Now it falls to Jenny to unravel the mystery. As more children disappear, she fears for her own child's safety. So this stars John Lithgow as Carter, the child psychologist, and he gives a tour de force performance. He plays 6 different characters in this movie, ranging from a 6-year-old boy to a seductress to a Norwegian psychiatrist, and he is, boy, is he really turning it up for this movie. It is a wild thing to witness. And it has some very, very creepy scenes, some cool shots. I mean, it's Brian De Palma. He knows what he's doing. I really, really like this movie. I definitely recommend it. It goes in some pretty weird places and took some unexpected turns. And it kept me engaged throughout. I really liked it. And I'm convinced that this is the role that landed John Lithgow the lead in Third Rock from the Sun. He's just like so out there in this movie that they were like, well, he can do anything. He would be perfect to play an alien. So Raising Cain, that's my pick for this one.
I tried to watch that this weekend on your recommendation, but my husband didn't want to watch it.
Yeah. I guess you could call it a little bit of a slow burn, but like it picks up momentum quite a bit. Okay. Did you have one for this one, Kristina?
No, I don't really watch this kind of movie.
I don't watch this kind of movie.
This is kind of particularly scary to me.
Okay.
A different kind of real life
Could
scary.
happen,
Yeah. All right, next category is international horror film. I already mentioned mine. It's Eyes Without a Face.
Mine is Gunjayam Haunted Asylum, which is a Korean found footage movie about like YouTubers who go to haunted places, and they go to this haunted asylum, and they're live streaming it, and it features like the single scariest like 2 minutes of movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so creepy in every way. It's just a really good horror movie in every way. Like it gets under your skin. It's so good.
Is it a single cam found footage?
No, I think there are 3. There are 3 or maybe 2 or 3 of the YouTubers who have cameras. So you'll be with one of them for a little bit and then sort of cut to someone else who might be in a different part of the asylum or looking for someone. So slightly different points of view sort of edited together.
That sounds interesting. Okay, next category. Oh, sorry, Peter, did you go for this one yet?
No.
Do you have an international horror film?
I do. Mine is called When Evil Lurks. It's from Argentina. It's a story of residents of a small rural town that discover that a demon is about to be born among them, and they desperately try to escape before the evil is born, but it may be too late. Really good kind of demonic possession, but the demonic possession, it's almost like a virus where you find out because these people get this horrible, like they can't get up, they get all bloated and pussy, and it's some really disgusting makeup and a couple of scenes that are quite disturbing in how realistic they are, but so it's kind of like a virus, that kind of horror movie and a demonic possession at the same time. But I've never actually seen a movie from Argentina, so
it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. The next category I have here is Inanimate Object Killer. This is a fun category. What did you have for this one?
I have Oculus, which is a Mike Flanagan film, basically about a killer mirror. It has a great cast, too. It has Karen Gillan and Katie Sackhoff, which I don't know if that's as much a draw for other people as it is for me, but famously plays Starbuck in the new Battlestar Galactica. But yeah, it was just a very creepy movie.
Perfect. Killer Mirror.
Killer Mirror.
Nothing more needs to be said. Peter, did you have one for this?
I do. Mine is called Dolls. It's another 80s movie, and it's, a couple, I can't remember if they run out of gas or their car breaks down or whatever, but they go into this house for help, and it's a creepy doll house, and, the dolls come to life and start killing them. It's fun, 80s kind of movie. Not super good, but, doesn't take a lot of energy to watch either.
Yeah, nice. So my choice for this category ties in with the next category, horror comedy. I chose Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Boy, I don't really have much to say about it. It was an experience. The title says it all. I mean, this movie does not take itself seriously at all. I don't know. I don't really have much to say. I don't have any notes for it. I did not enjoy it.
I saw it years ago, but yeah, that was kind of what made it famous of how bad it was.
Yeah, I've also seen it for that reason.
I did not know it would be that bad. But yeah, boy, I think I smiled once in the runtime. I definitely didn't laugh. So that was my choice for Inanimate Object Killer and horror comedy. What were your horror comedy choices?
Mine is Deadstream, which is also a found footage horror movie. It is another internet personality who's trying to win back followers by live streaming one night alone in a haunted house. And he's not taking it very seriously. He's joking around. He's just having a great time until he's not, when he realizes that the house is actually haunted. But it is actually so fun to watch. It's very funny. They definitely nail the apology type YouTube video vibe of it. It has that whole thing. And this one is also streaming on Hoopla. So it turns out a lot of Shudder movies are also streaming on Hoopla. This is originally on Shudder.
Wow.
Which I found out as I was going through my list. But fun movie, very funny.
Deadstream?
Deadstream, yep.
Cool. So we talked about Hoopla quite a bit, so let's just jump ahead to the next category, horror streaming on Kanopy or Hoopla. So if you're not aware, Kanopy and Hoopla are two apps you can get with your library card that have access to a bunch of movies and other things. I watched at least 4 movies that I've mentioned on Kanopy. I use Kanopy quite a bit, actually. Possession, Phantasm, Phase 4, A Field in England. All of those are on where I saw on Kanopy. Yeah, they've got tons. They even have their marquee right now is all about HORROR-ween. They have hundreds of horror movies on there. Really, really good ones too. I have a disease where I can't watch a movie twice. I just have to always be watching new things. So they have much better movies than the movies that I mentioned in this episode. Trust me. I just am always looking for something new to watch. So you've mentioned a couple from Hoopla.
I still have more.
You still have more. Go.
Yeah, so another found footage movie, Grave Encounters, is streaming on Hoopla. It also counts, I think, for a movie series. So it's a ghost hunting reality show that locks themselves in an abandoned mental hospital that's supposed to be haunted. And this definitely takes the found footage premises where you're watching the last tape that they found many years later type of deal. And this is another super creepy sort of ghost movie. I think it does everything, the found footage stuff, really well. I think the scares are great. This was just a great series, despite Grave Encounters just feels like a very generic horror movie name, but it's very good.
Sounds fun. All right, next category I have here is ghost movie. Does anyone have a ghost movie they want to talk about?
Oh, so many. But I'll just talk about Rose Red, which is a Stephen King movie. I don't think it's based on anything. I think he was originally supposed to be involved in The Haunting, starring Liam Neeson and Owen Wilson and Catherine Zeta-Jones, and something happened and he was no longer involved in the production, so he made this movie instead. And if you watch both movies, you can absolutely tell that they start off exactly the same way. It's about a college professor and a team of psychics who investigate an abandoned house at the request of a man who inherited it. They stay in the house lashes out, it's creepy. It's just a creepy haunted house movie. I saw this movie as a child. It was a made-for-TV movie, and I saw it then, and it made such an impression on me that I could remember like scenes from it, but I didn't know what it was called. So recently I was like, I really have to find this movie and watch it again. So I figured out that it was this movie and got a DVD for it, and just as good as I remember.
I think this was it must have been an ABC made-for-TV movie, because I think ABC had a deal with Stephen King where they were making like a movie around Halloween every year, because I think I mentioned this before in the podcast, Storm of the Century, which was a 3-part miniseries of that Stephen King wrote for ABC, and it left quite an impression on me. I rewatch it occasionally. It's so good. But I wonder if Rose Red was around the same time.
So I think it came out right before The Haunting.
Oh, so this is later then.
So Rose Red came out 2002, so maybe it was slightly after The Haunting.
Storm of the Century was 1999, so it could have been in that same window.
Oh, and The Haunting came out in 1999, so it took him a little bit longer to get someone to want to make this movie.
So it's funny that you mentioned The Haunting, because that is my ghost movie.
I love that movie.
I watched it much because you recommended it. I'd never seen it. It's so campy. I mean, it's very 90s. I would say it's barely even a horror movie. It's very silly. I have a note that said could probably count for horror comedy. Yeah, definitely. Owen Wilson stars in it. Right. It's a very comfortable, cozy horror movie, I would say. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a remake of The Haunting on Hill House. Yes, but I'll get to that category next, because this one's pulling double duty for me. Yeah, I don't really have much notes on The Haunting. It was fun. Liam Neeson. No. Yeah, Liam Neeson. I always get him and Leslie Nielsen mixed up. That's not Leslie Nielsen. That would have been a fun movie. Maybe that'll be my vampire movie next year. Didn't he do a vampire? Didn't he did the Mel Brooks one? Yeah. I forget what it's called. Vampire. Yeah.
Love at First Bite, I think.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah. So that was my ghost pick, was The Haunting. What about you? Did you have a ghost movie?
I did not have a ghost.
Okay. Well, let me just transition into the next category that I was mentioning already previously, horror movie remake. So The Haunting was my double duty. It was also the remake. The Haunting's been remade a bunch of times. I think going back as early as maybe the 40s or something in the first one. I don't have any more notes about The Haunting. That was my remake to check off that box.
My remake was also Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yep.
Mine was the Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds.
Perfect. All right, next category is Clive Barker movie. I watched for the first time Hellraiser, one of the few films he directed. So I think if we're going to keep this category again, we need to start counting movies he's written, because I think he's only directed 1 or 2 movies. I saw Hellraiser for the first time. I know a lot of people love this movie. I thought it was fine. Very weird and disturbing. Just not for me.
I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. I have a Hellraiser t-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it just fine. It had some cool ideas. It was just kind of a little too gross for me, I guess. I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood for it. But that was my Clive Barker movie. Did anybody else get a chance to watch any Clive Barker joints?
No.
I didn't either.
No?
I mean, I've seen Hellraiser lots of times.
Yeah.
I'll co-sign that one.
Okay. And that leaves us with only one category left, I believe, if I'm checking off the categories correctly. So the last category is found footage horror movie. Kristina, do you want to take this one off, since it's your category, your favorite?
I have so many.
Well, I don't have one, so you can tell us a couple.
So I watched, I'm going to say, I've talked about Late Night with the Devil already on the podcast, but I did recently rewatch it. That's a fantastic found footage film. I just saw Haunted Ulster Live, which is like an homage to an older found footage movie, Ghost Watch. And it's like a news show that's investigating a haunted house, I think in Ireland. And it's like just kind of a lot of newscasters like interviewing the family while supernatural things are happening throughout the movie. It's very good. It has like a twist ending, which I was not expecting. But it's done super well.
Do you have to watch Ghost Watch to enjoy
I don't
Haunted
think
Ulster
you
Live?
have to watch Ghost Watch. It just sort of is definitely the filmmakers paying tribute probably to a movie they watched as children and were terrified of.
Yeah.
And then I've already mentioned a whole bunch of others. The only other one I have listed is Hell House LLC, which also counts as a horror movie series. There's 4 of them. So a documentary crew goes to a haunted house that suffered some kind of tragedy, and they're like filming the whole thing. And it's like a bunch of people. So it sort of cuts back to a group of friends who are setting up a haunted house when like tragedy strikes the house, and it's sort of unexplained. There's like a bunch of people just having fun with like Halloween decorations and all of this stuff, and then creepy stuff starts happening. And then as the series continues, they sort of go into like the background of the house and stuff. And I think they're all fantastic. They're super creepy. Yeah, they're just all great found footage movies. I have watched, I think, 80 found footage horror movies over the last 2 years. And I only picked the ones that I have rated 4 stars or higher to talk about. There are a lot that are much less than that.
Those all sound good.
I recommend them highly.
Yeah, and of course there's Blair Witch Project, which you can go back. I think only 2 episodes ago we did a whole episode on just Blair Witch Project, which is maybe the best. One of the best.
It's up there.
It's up there.
Popularized the genre.
For sure. Okay, I watched a great found footage movie for this challenge called Lake Mungo. Came out in 2008. It's an Australian mockumentary style found footage horror film. The basic story is after a 16-year-old girl, Alice Palmer, drowns in a local dam, her family experiences a series of strange, inexplicable events around their home. When they begin investigating these occurrences, they discover Alice led a secret double life, which she may or may not still be living. Really, really creepy movie. I forget how I heard about this. I think it was on like a best of found footage horror movies list that I sent you, and
yes,
you vouched for it, I think. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. And it was really, really good. I was kind of blown away by it. It's like a really well-made documentary style. It's not just found footage. Like it bounces back between like the investigation and then found footage, and the found footage ties in well, I think, to like the whole premise of the story. It's really creepy. It has lots of twists and unexpected turns in the as it goes along. It doesn't overstay its welcome either. It's nice, short, 80 minutes or so. And it's kind of like Photoshop the horror movie. Like most of the movie is like doctored photos, basically, like slowly zooming in on them. And it's like, it really challenges the viewer to like, you have to just stare at this creepy thing for a long, like they hold on it for a long time. And it is really unnerving. I think they do. It could have been bad, but they did a good job of it.
Yeah, so many of them are very bad.
Yeah. I recommend this one. Lake Mungo, 2008. Really, really creepy. I don't want to spoil the ending, but it was good. Definitely worth a watch. So I think that's it. We hit all the categories. Thank you both for joining me, and I hope you have a extra spooky Horror-ween this year, and good luck in the challenge.